Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's day 8 today. It's Babakizo again. So today we'll be talking about the basics of web application attacks and showing basic examples. Same like the other format, I would just be reading through the blogs and showing a couple examples. So let's get into it. Welcome to day 8 of our 10-day cybersecurity challenge. Today, we will explore basic web application attacks, focusing on common vulnerabilities like SQL injection and cross-site scripting. I already showed an example of an XSS before in other videos. So today, we're going to look at an example of an SQL injection. So let's go. Understanding these attacks is essential for securing web applications and protecting sensitive data from malicious actors. Malicious hackers, it's same thing. So, understanding web application vulnerabilities. Web applications are often targets for hackers due to the sensitive data they handle. By exploiting vulnerabilities, attackers can gain unauthorized access, manipulate data, or disrupt services. I think this definition is pretty straightforward to understand. Key vulnerabilities to understand in web applications: SQL injection, SQLI. Description: an injection attack that allows attackers to execute arbitrary SQL queries on a database. Impact: can lead to unauthorized data access, data manipulation, and data corruption. That's all you can do if you are able to inject SQL queries into a web application. Let's show you one example here. Um, so you could use SQL map and help. It shows you more commands. So if you get some time, read through this, and this is the basic step for attacking web application. If you want to dump everything, like literally just read through this, you find your way around on how to attack web application with the SQL. I'm not going to show an example with this right now. So number 2, cross-site scripting XSS. We already showed an example of this, but we're just going to go through it because it's part of the web application vulnerabilities, the major ones. So the description: an attack that injects malicious scripts into web pages viewed by other users. Remember when I injected a command into the search space that just popped up? Yeah, a lot of things could go wrong by doing just that. Impact: you can steal cookies. Cookies is when you sign in, you are assigned a cookie. So if someone else has your cookie or a session to or your session token, they can actually sign in as you or redirect users to malicious sites. So this can happen if someone is able to perform an XSS on a website. Example: yeah, this is exactly what we did in the example I showed. This is exactly the same command. So yeah, go check that out. Number 3, cross-site request forgery, CSRF. This is a basic another one. So we're going to show example of this one later in the future because I found this one on a bug bounty program and it was really interesting. They argued and blah blah blah. So description: an attack that tricks a user into executing unwanted action on a web application where they are authenticated. Sometimes you might be logged in, and if I'm able to perform a CSRF, I might be sending command to you in a different in an application you are on that the owner of the app is not aware of, and that's crazy too. Impact: can perform actions like changing account details or making unauthorized transaction. Yeah, literally what I just said. I could be in your account the same time you're there and making changes to your passwords or just making purchases under your accounts while you're signing while you're signed into. So example: sending a crafted link that performs an action on behalf of the user. Yeah, that's what I just said. So SQL injection attacks. SQL injection occurs when an application fails to properly sanitize user inputs, allowing attackers to execute arbitrary SQL commands. So what we're going to be doing today is just going to be a manual. If you want to do it SQL injection automatically, that's where this comes in the SQL map. So you don't need to know a lot. Just read through this and just implement it as required, and it will magically do it for you. Next, types of SQL injection. Inbound SQL injection. Description: the attacker uses the same channel for both the attack and retrieval of data. Straightforward. Example: error based and union based SQL injection. It's pretty straightforward. Blind SQL injection. The attacker received no feedback from the database, requiring more sophisticated techniques. This one is a little bit more technical to do, because whenever you're imputing the attack command, you would not get any response. So you have to depend on a timing. You might just time it to give you 5 seconds, and you expect a specific action to be performed, but you would not get any response. So it's a little bit technical to do, and I'm still learning this too. So yeah, we're just gonna skip that for now. Out of band SQL injection uses different channels for attack and data retrieval, often requires server-side capabilities, sending data through DNS. And yeah, this is a whole different one, but it's easier than the blind SQL injection. This definition is pretty straightforward to understand, I think. So prevention tips on how to prevent the SQL injection attack. Use parameterized queries or standard or prepared statements. Implement input validation and sanitization. You need to, as a defender on a website application, you need to sanitize types of symbols or commands people can put into a website, else I could perform anything. Like an example that I will show in a few minutes now. So cross-site scripting XSS attacks. XSS occurs when an application includes untrusted data in a web page without proper sanitization or validation, or escaping, allowing attackers to execute scripts in the context of the user. I think that's pretty straightforward to understand as well. Types of XSS. Stored XSS. Description: the malicious script is stored on the server and executed when users access the affected page. It's pretty straightforward. You should understand that whatever command exploit you have, it's saved on the server, and it keeps repeating for every user that goes there. It's not just one user goes and browse to the page that's infected. Nah, it affects everybody that goes there. So it's pretty crazy. Posting a script in a comment section that executes when viewed by others. So that's what I just said now. So reflected XSS is the example we showed before in the other video. So the description: malicious script is reflected off a web server and executed immediately by users who click on a crafted link. Example: sending a phishing email with a link containing a script. That's the example of what we showed in the other video. So we're not gonna show that today again. So DOM based XSS, DOM based XSS. Description: the attack is executed entirely on client side by modifying DOM environment, document object model environment. That's the full meaning. Example: altering a page DOM to include malicious scripts through unsafe JavaScript method. In the future, we're going to have more examples of this, because I know I'm being vague right now. I'm not giving a proper explanation. Without an example, looking at it, you probably would not understand what it means. So, prevention tips: encode output data to escape special characters. You don't want the random special characters like the colon, all those colons. It might be dangerous. So, I'll show you more examples later. Just talking about it might just not give you the justice of what you need to understand. So next, use a content security policy to restrict script execution. Number two, validate and sanitize all user inputs. Okay. Practical example: testing for SQL injection. So the thing is, We're not going to be showing this example today. We are going to use a different website called Portswigger to show you the example, because this you're going to have to install, and that could get a little more technical for people that don't understand what we are even doing at all. So I'm not going to make this even more harder for you. So the steps is access the vulnerable page description, go through the DVWA. So this is what we were supposed to use in my example. I already have this on the computer, but if you're going to go through it, you're going to have to read through all this and use this command to install it, but it's going to take a few minutes than the time I have right now. So we're going to use this instead. So the Portswigger, you can browse to the Portswigger anytime. It's free. You could check it out. There's a lot more to learn on there. So I've solved a couple of the sites. So we will do SQL injection vulnerability and allowing login bypass. Okay, let's do this one too. Bypass a login. That should be really easy enough to do. If you don't know the answer or what to do, you could just click on the solution and see what's up. So, what do they want us to do here? This lab contains a SQL injection vulnerability in the login function. To solve this lab, perform an SQL injection attacks that logs into the application as the administrator user. So we access the lab and we open up Bob Suite. Yeah, this is gonna take a few minutes, but we'll get it done. I don't think we need to show the interception. In the future, I'll show you more on how to use this. I forgot, I didn't show you how to use this yet, and just randomly bringing it up here might just get you confused or lost. So we'll learn more about Bob Suite, Metasploits, Nmap, a lot more about those tools, so you get a little bit more familiar with them. This a little bit about this. This is going to help you intercept uh, requests from any website, and I could help you perform brute forcing too. But this is the free version. Anyways, what do they want us to do here? Log into the application as the administrator. So let's go to, say you're on this site that looks like this. This is just for the example though. So you log in my account. I'm Ali. Maybe we can elevate our privilege. No, so let's do the administrator then. Okay, yeah, this is exactly what you're going to use. Administrator, and these are the column I was warning about. You need to sanitize it. They allowed it on here. They're not doing a proper sanitization. So if you build your own website, you need to work on not allowing all this to be imputed in there. Or if it's going to be imputed, you need to sanitize it and know how to implement the functionality properly. So we are almost done with this. So you input any password, because if I show you, let me just do that. Come login. Boom. Congratulations, you solved this lab. I'm sorry if I went too fast and you didn't understand what I just did. Send me a message. It's just basic stuff. And taking, I would not want to take too much of your time by going through the process of putting it in here and adding it to the target and doing all this stuff. It's gonna take more of our time. Like, I didn't plan for this, so we'll learn more about these tools later. But for now, this is a basic example of an SQL injection to bypass a login. Just basic stuff. So you can skip this example for now and use the one I just showed. Thank you again for checking this out today. Conclusion. Today we explored the fundamentals of basic web application attacks, focusing on SQL injection and cross-site scripting (XSS). Understanding these vulnerabilities helps you protect web applications from common threats. Tomorrow, we will learn about bug bounty programs and how to participate in them effectively. And stay safe. Happy hacking. Basically, tomorrow our topic is just going to be introducing you to bug bounty programs and how to participate and how to sign up. And there are different types of bug bounty programs. And we'll talk a lot more about that tomorrow because that's what I've been doing on the side lately. And I've been finding a couple vulnerabilities, but not getting any money yet because some of the vulnerabilities I find are not qualified for a bounty. So let's work on something together and see what we get.